So last where we left off, we were having some problems with using the brake lines, and you always want to obtain the brake lines, but in certain cases, like what I've done here is we're going to end up using this polygon that I generated instead of these brake lines because we're having so much trouble with the data, and I can't figure out what the issues are when gridding. So we'll just do this the way I normally do things, which is I don't usually typically use the brake lines when I'm gridding the DTM. What I'll do is I'll generate water polygons, and with the with the newer data, where you'll get brake lines that are actual water polygons with the elevation value, the Z value assigned to it. In this case, I created, which I do a lot of times with shoreline, is I'll create the shoreline. I want the water polygon so I can mask it out and use that as we'll mask that out to get rid of any anomalies that are in the water. So we'll just forget about the brake lines for now, and I'll show you how to grid the data without brake lines. So I have the 2014 grid that we set up, A1 to whatever, map catalog set up, LiDAR settings, groundwater only, check. I'm going to select all of these features. The other thing, make sure your projection's correct too. And then what we'll do is we only want to deal with the map catalog, which has the LiDAR point files in it. And then this grid is the way we're going to clip it and export out the DTM. So in order to do that, make sure everything is selected in this one. Catalog is turned on. Analysis, create elevation grid. We want to vector data contain a 3D vector. Turn this off because it doesn't contain 3D vector. We only want it to grid from the contents in the catalog, which is going to pull those LAS files. DTM is correct. Vertical units, make sure that's right. Meters is correct. Spacing will be at 1 meter. I set this at 98. Since we don't have anything selected, this is turned off here. So it should have no bearing because it's not seeing a value here, but if this was turned on, you definitely would want to uncheck it if you're not using brake lines. But the reason why we want to select this grid is because we're going to export the grids directly to global mapper files. And we're going to tile it by these tiles. That's why it's selected. Tile, use selected area, features for tiles, name, yes. So we're ready to go here. Hit OK, put it in your DTM directory, and we'll call it one meter DTM. So then it will save it. Oh, it says multiple areas have the same were detected, and that just means there's little pieces with the same A1 or A2 name. So yes, combine the duplicates. Yes. It'll grid it all. So finish gridding. Open up those files. And I'm going to turn this off. And now we could see here, let's see AOI. We'll see what it looks like zoomed in. And this isn't bad at all. Now we could clean this up with the water polygon if we wanted to. Could even, in theory, just extract the elevation values along the point and clip it that way. This DTM is pretty much almost acceptable, but we could clean this stuff out. Just try to think of the best way to do it. one way that I do things is if it's along the coast, a lot of times I'll just set the sea level to 0. So this DTM actually looks pretty acceptable, to be quite honest with you. I mean, we probably would want to clip that out. We're going to want to fill in these no data areas, and I'll show you how to do that in the next video. But that's basically it for how to grid the data, and then DSM would be the same way.